Hi, this is Cliff again, and this is going to be my first video that doesn't involve race in any way, so enjoy. This video, and I know I'm late to the issue again, but I just now decided to start recording again. This video is going to be about the Casey Anthony case, trial, or whatever. As you know, this is really popular in the media, and pretty much you have to be living under a rock to never heard of Casey Anthony. And I just like to, tell you guys my opinion on it. First of all, it's obvious most people think she's guilty. Most people think she's guilty. It appears to be very clear that she was guilty, but she was proven innocent in a court of law. That's the fact of things. But I will admit that it does, if you look at everything, it does seem like she was guilty. So just keep that in mind throughout the video, because I'm going to say some things that you might disagree with, though. But I will admit she does appear to be guilty. But here's my thing. First of all, this trial has had way too much media attention. And as you know, the jury is picked from people. Yeah, they interview people, but they still pick common people. Some people more educated than others, some people more intelligent than others, some people not so much. And those people on the jury, along with the judge, get to decide the fate of someone. They get to decide whether someone lives or whether someone dies, or whether someone's free or whether they're not free. These people, these common, everyday people who may be intelligent, who may be stupid, who may have a preconceived notion, who may not have a preconceived notion, these regular people, just like Casey Anthony, regular human beings, get to decide her fate, whether she lives or dies or is free or is not free. Keep that in mind, and also question yourself and see if that's right. Anyway, now, as a human being, it is almost impossible, unless you try really hard, to not automatically have a preconceived notion of someone just from looking at them. As soon as you see someone, you're sizing them up, you're judging them, you're passing judgment upon them. You're trying to guess what their life's like, you're trying to guess what they're thinking. Everybody does this. No matter how much you want to lie, no matter how much you want to try to not do it, it happens. Even I do it. As much as I try not to, it can happen. Now, you have to ask yourself, keeping that in mind, is there ever a way for anyone to ever really make the correct judgment on someone? But anyway, well, let's get off of that for now. So, as I said, there is a lot of this case was shown in the media. And there's this show, in particular, I'm going to somewhat attack, called Nancy Grace. Now, I'm sure, somebody, is watching this video has had to have heard of Nancy Grace. So, I'm going to tell you what I think about this show. First of all, Nancy Grace she seems like a moron, but she's actually quite clever. She's quite clever in getting people, moronic middle-aged women, to like her. But it's a show for idiots to watch. And as a news reporter or any sort of show like that, you are supposed to remain neutral. As a juror too, you're supposed to remain neutral and only assess the facts and make a decision based upon the facts. The facts alone are supposed to influence your decision. And when you're a news reporter or a show like that, you're only supposed to support the facts. You're not supposed to show a bias. You're not supposed to pick a side or anything like that. Most news stations and shows fail to do this, though. And so, this show, not attacking women or anything, but a lot of the people that watch the show are women 30 and up. And it amuses me that these idiotic housewife women are playing detective at home on their couches purely alone, based upon what they see on the television screen. Now, if you think that's a good idea, that's on you. But to me, I find that really funny that some idiot at home on the couch can form an opinion of someone based upon a TV show that's clearly biased. And then these people call in on the show and try to give their expertise, like some woman named Mary, who fucking has a 50-year-old husband and cooks for him every night, who dropped out of high school, could call in and be like, well, I think she's guilty, Nancy, because you see, and she'll just name something that was shown on the show. Now think about it. These people like this, they could be on a jury somewhere. Would you want someone like that deciding your fate? Whether you lived or died or was free? Think about how crazy that is. But look at the society we live in. That's okay with people. That's not fair at all, no. Like I said earlier, I think she probably did it. But I'm going to tell you one thing. As soon as I found out about the case, guess what I guessed? I said that she would get away with it. I said it. I said it right there on the spot. I said she's going to be proven innocent. I told all my friends. My grandma watches the show, by the way. I don't watch the show, but I take care of my grandma, and she watches the show. So it's not like I sit there and watch it. But anyway, although I do for amusement at times. But anyway, I called it. I called it a year before it happened. I said that she is going to be proven innocent. And people ask me why, and I'm like, that's just the way it is. It's going to get a bunch of publicity. It's going to make the news networks tons of money. And then she's going to be proven innocent, and then she's going to write a book. She might even get her own show. That's how it's going to be. That's just how it's going to be. So as you know, I clearly have no love for this woman. But there's a flip side to it. Like I said, the media can show a bias and already have people's minds made up for them. And what if these people got on the jury? Yeah, they interview you and question you, but you can lie through that. They ask you obvious questions. Have you watched too much TV about this show? You can just say no. Do you have a preconceived notion about this woman? You can say no, but you really do. You know, so these people can get on a jury and decide your fate. And also, you know, they brought up her moral choices, which have little or nothing to do with the fact of whether or not she killed her daughter or not. You know, the fact that she was bisexual or she partied and had slept with men or whatever, which have little to do with it. Now, as somewhat, the case of that happened after her daughter was dead, that she was still partying, yes, that's very relevant. But besides that, they're just trying to villainize her. They're trying to vilify her. And someone just looking at that, the fact that she's a whore alone, will just, oh, she's guilty. So people don't understand that you can't let your preconceived notions and biases affect your decision or not like that. And I see everyone's in an outrage that she's free, that she was proven innocent. And I just laughed to myself. I'm like, what, were you expecting different? How could you be expecting any different? And then also, why do you support all these news companies and watch their shows? Do you realize that they're profiting? They're making so much money off of a little girl's death? And you have your outrage on this woman who you weren't even there. You don't even know whether she did it or not. You just watch a lot of TV and the TV told me she's guilty, so I think she's guilty. So, I mean, but anyway, your anger's wrong. Like, you have your anger misplaced, regardless of not whether she did it. You shouldn't be mad at her. You should be mad at, first of all, the people profiting off of her death, and also you should be mad at the incompetent court that proved her, you know, innocent in your eyes, because you thought she was guilty, and I kind of thought she was guilty. But like I said, we weren't there. We don't know. So I mean, but you shouldn't get all up in the outrage and stuff. And I find it funny how these people are so angry about this little girl dying and stuff, but they won't give $1 to the bum that's on the corner right there. You know, just because it's a cute little girl, all of a sudden we care and we have a conscience and stuff, and we're in an outrage and stuff, but we won't do stuff to help each other. We don't need to help our own fucking families when we need it. You know what I mean? It's just one just big ridiculous thing. But, you know, in closing, I'm going to say this. I have a low opinion of courts regardless, because I've been to a court one time. And in that court, there was a judge. He was a judge. He said he's been a judge for 40 years. That judge, no, actually, it was part of one day, and then I came back the next morning. And I'll tell you, that judge, he was there 40 years. And the first day I saw him, he was having a bad day. And I noticed that all of his judgments were harsher based purely upon the fact that he was having a bad day. Then the next morning, he was in a good mood, and his judgments were merciful and kind. He gave them the benefit of the doubt. Now, you should ask yourself, should justice be so fickle? Should it be decided upon the mood of the judge, the mood of the jury, the biases of the judge, the biases of the jury, the preconceived notions of both? Should justice be based upon that? No, of course not. But that's how it is. So really, in reality, justice is a joke. It's some fickle thing that's wishy-washy. It could be one thing one moment and one thing another moment. I've heard of men proven guilty that could not have been physically present at the crime scene. You know, there could be a man that was in Tokyo accused of killing someone in America while he was in Tokyo, and he could be proven guilty by someone who's in a bad mood. That's just how stuff is. And you should ask yourselves, is that right? I don't think it's right. And who are we to really decide someone's fate like that? I know it has to be done. Otherwise, people just go around doing whatever the fuck they want, and our society would devolve into anarchy. But you have to ask yourself, is there a better way? Because the way things are right now, justice isn't really being served at all. It's more about just fickle nonsense. So you really have to ask yourself, is that right or wrong? Thank you.